start the action at Highbury, a much more cheerful place these days, as their blend of footballers, ancient and modern, dominated the first half of the season, providing a platform for the treble. Watford stand in their way with just one target left and very much in mind. Wembley for the FA Cup final. Your commentator is John Watson.
Steve Williams is back in the Arsenal team after missing 6 games with a fractured elbow. He's wearing a moulded plastic splint to protect the area of the injury, and that had to be approved before the kick-off by the referee. Williams replaces Michael Thomas in the centre of the Arsenal midfield. Thomas drops to substitute, where he's joined on the bench by Charlie Nicholas, who has himself recovered from a sprained ankle. Watford keep the side that played in the second half against Everton on Match of the Day Live last Sunday. Gary Porter still playing at number 10 for the injured Kenny Jackett. But lots of attention focused this week on number 11, John Barnes, who has been offered the prospect of playing for Liverpool next season, but who many Arsenal fans would like to see here at Highbury when he comes to the end of his Watford contract. Brian Stevens of Stonehouse in Gloucestershire, something of a controversial choice as referee for this cup tie, because when the teams met here in the league earlier this season, he sent off the Watford goalkeeper Tony Coton on the advice of a linesman following a penalty incident, and Watford asked the FA to think again about this choice, but Brian Stevens is again in the middle. A pleasant afternoon at Highbury as Arsenal kick off at the start of this all-Southern 6th round tie. John McClellan there for Watford, and then Gibbs out to Bardsley. Tony Adams with Mark Falco. Richardson, Bardsley. And now Gibbs. Headed by Richardson. Mistake by Adams, but he made up for it beautifully. Rocastle, Quinn, Groves. Immediate recovery by Tony Adams. Here's Barnes. Forward by Porter. Barnes. Barnes just getting in ahead of Viv Anderson there, who slipped. Porter. Barnes. And he's beaten Anderson. Blissett. Well, that was a perfect piece of wing play by John Barnes. Nobody can say there's a better sight in football than a winger going cleanly outside his fullback, as Barnes did there by Anderson. But Luther Blissett couldn't make the most of the opportunity. Sims and Quinn together again, forward by Adams. Rostron with Groves, Hayes trying to sneak in, and McClellan away. Oh, Allinson! John McClellan in a terrible mix-up with Tony Coton, and Ian Allinson took advantage. Arsenal are in the lead in the 12th minute, and Allinson didn't hang about. John McClellan appeared to be favourite, but he didn't seem to want the ball to go back to the keeper, and as he hesitated, Allinson smacked it into the net to put Arsenal ahead. Only his second goal of the season. Johnson's other goal was the one that turned the Littlewoods Cup semi-final at Tottenham. I wonder how important this one will prove. Good turn by David Bardsley. Blissett, good goal. Simple, but so well executed. Watford have equalised. And need we say it again, good orthodox wing play. David Bardsley, whose thrusts worried Everton last Sunday, goes down the right, crosses to the near post. Luther Blissett applies the finish to make it 1-1. Well, Blissett's in quite a run of scoring form at the moment. FA Cup goals against Chelsea, Walsall and now Arsenal, as well as the header against Everton. Quinn. Little touch on Barnes. O'Leary is the defender. And Bardsley's coming in from the far side, and there's Falco. Arsenal were, again, somewhat slack in their marking. Here's Hayes, on to Quinn. Now Quinn forcing the corner. David O'Leary going up to the near post now. He got a flick on, and it was scrambled from almost on the line. There's no lack of incident here. Free kick to Arsenal. O'Leary to take it. And there goes Quinn. It was Sims who jumped with him. Quinn thought there was some climbing there. But a good ball by Gibbs to Richardson. Porter. Gibbs again. He's lost out to Kenny Sansom. Quinn making the run. There's a nice ebb and flow about this cup tie. This has been quite a taxing week for George Graham. That's the telephone that communicates him with the dugout. So the referee ends the first half, which was an open, entertaining one from a spectator's point of view. Luther Blissett put Watford level after 23 minutes, and somebody protesting at half-time to referee Brian Stevens, and Viv Anderson appears to have been spoken to as he goes off. And the temperature rising a little in the last few minutes before half-time, which arrives with the score here 1 each. So the familiar Highbury scene, as two clubs have only met First Division opposition once between them in the FA Cup this season before today. Prepare to start for the second half. Arsenal have beaten Reading, Plymouth and Barnsley to get this far. Watford's victims were Maidstone, Chelsea and Walsall. And there's the flag up for a foul by Blissett on Adams. There's Mark Falco. Groves. Williams. Anderson has gone forward with Barnes marking him. McClellan underneath it. O'Leary. Hayes. Now Richardson. He's got support on both wings. Bardsley. He's gone around Sansom. Barnes has come in. Oh, a fine goal by John Barnes. That's a beauty. And Watford are in front. And the two wingers combine again. And what about this for wide play? England fullbacks they may be, Anderson and Sansom, but Bardsley and Barnes are taking them on this afternoon. Bardsley skipped Sansom, the cross was met by Barnes' header, and in the roof of the net, Watford are in front. Bardsley's cross. And Anderson concedes the corner. Away by Groves. '52nd minute, and Arsenal at the end of this demanding week. Charlie Nicholas is preparing perhaps to come on, find themselves on the wrong end of the scoreline again for the moment. Here's Groves. That's a probing run by Perry Groves. He's got Allinson here. And now Sansom. Hayes up with the keeper. And again, David Bardsley. This is getting very tricky for Arsenal. There are 3 against 3. Kenny Sansom out of position, and the cross will be picked up by Falco, and he's got 2 unmarked. Barnes. An offside, not against Bardsley. I think it was Blissett in the middle. But Bardsley is finding a lot of room. Everton found him a handful in the second half last week. Arsenal have found him difficult to contain throughout the match so far this week. The Highbury faithful about to welcome Charlie Nicholas and Michael Thomas, it would appear. The players going off are Ian Allinson and Martin Hayes. So a double change, continental style by George Graham. Will it be sufficient? Thomas number 14, Nicholas number 12, to push Arsenal back into contention in this cup tie. Falco now, wide to Bardsley. This is where Watford have capitalised. He's gone past Tom. Oh, he's prepared to take anybody on today, but the pass only found O'Leary. Well, it's been a tiring week for Arsenal, and Steve Williams playing his first game in 7. Just wonder whether the fresh pairs of legs that George Graham has brought on are going to make a difference. That's obviously what he's gambling on. Charlie Nicholas yet to get a touch, really. Groves. John McClellan's was the challenge. Arsenal appeal for a penalty, not given. And Blissett chases the long kick. And still Blissett. And now his appeal is at the other end. And referee Brian Stevens again says no. And I have to say that I think he was right on both occasions. Well, there are Plenty of points of discussion here. Halfway through the second half, what matters is it's Arsenal 1, Watford 2. Tony Adams for Arsenal. A good cup tie. Just under 10 minutes to go, and Anderson's got to be very careful. He's been booked for dissent, and he's arguing again. Understandable frustration building up among the Arsenal players. This could be their third defeat in a week. And the Watford supporters sense victory. Rostrom with the kick. Bardsley. Charlie Nicholas. And Blissett's off, testing the central defenders. Foul this time, though. He just tapped the ankles of Adams, Luther Blissett. Here's Quinn. Williams still prompting. This is Nicholas. Gibbs at his back. Got a foot in. Here's Groves. Worked it back to Rocastle. And Barnes again defending. Sims is staying close to Niall Quinn. There is Quinn. Anderson, Thomas. Sansom. And Arsenal have forced a corner in this long assault on the Watford goal. Nicholas goes across for a short one. Gets it back to Sansom. Quinn went down under challenge from Sims. Nothing given. Nicholas! It won't go in for Arsenal. And one of the reasons is this fellow. In fact, he's a very big reason. It's been nearly all Arsenal since Watford went 2-1 up. Can they get the equaliser yet? On by Nicholas, back by Richardson. Porter, with Falco to his left. Barnes. Falco in space here, he's onside. Now a chance for Watford. Two in the middle waiting. Oh, Blissett, surely! In many ways, as Falco holds his head, Blissett did the right thing. He tried to direct the header back to where the goalkeeper was coming from, but he just got too much height on it. Well, Graham Taylor and his team less than 5 minutes away from a semi-final. David O'Leary. Free kick given against Gary Porter for the foul on Perry Groves. Steve Williams is arguing again with the referee. But Arsenal's best course of action now will be to get on with things, really. 3 minutes. Quinn with Sims. Oh, the flag's up on the far side. The referee hasn't seen it. Blissett's away for Watford. Controversy here looming. He's onside, is Blissett, and Lukic is saved, and Blissett again, a goal! But Arsenal must go back to the referee because the linesman on the far side was flagging in the previous attack. He wasn't seen. The referee played on, and Blissett scored at the other end. But he's right to consult his linesman because there was a flag. Whether it was for a penalty, I'm not sure, because the linesman raised the flag, the referee didn't look across, so we never saw it go across his chest. But did he see a foul or not at the other end in the previous attack? Because his flag was certainly up. Now, what does Brian Stevens do here? Involved in controversy in the Arsenal-Watford fixture for the second time running this season, and he has awarded a goal to Watford, scored by Luther Blissett, who squeezed his shot past the man on the line to make it 3-1 and confirm that Watford are in the semi-final. But George Graham has made an emphatic protest from the bench, and without taking anything away from Watford, I have to see the reason why. Would the linesman have put a flag across his chest if the referee had seen the initial signal? Was it for something else? I can't say that from here. What I do know is there was a flag and it went back down again, and at the other end Watford scored. So Graham Taylor, who was disappointed with the officials here when his team lost in the league, had his goalkeeper sent off. Sometimes in football, in a most peculiar way, the wheel turns full circle, and it has done for Watford at Highbury this season. About that there is no doubt at all. Sansom. Sims is up there again. Sansom once more. Watford are through to the semi-final of the FA Cup. The managers shake hands. But for Graham Crafter from Maidstone, the linesman with the white hair, and referee Brian Stevens, there will need to have to be a fairly hasty exit, because things are possibly being thrown there after a controversial incident. Graham Taylor's saying, get off the pitch, we don't want to incite any more fan reaction. Steve Williams arguing with the Watford manager. He seems to have lost his head a little bit. There's trouble down there by the tunnel. Perry Groves is trying to separate them. Arsenal are angry. It's the end of a bad week for them. Watford, who to be fair were 2-1 up anyway, can't be blamed for what happened. They don't control the officials, and in any event felt hard done by in the same way earlier this season here. But the upshot of it all is that Watford have won by 3 goals to 1, 2 from Blissett and 1 from Barnes. The most influential player, possibly Bardsley on the right wing, with the first 2 goals made by him. But everybody will talk about the incident 2 minutes from the end, when a linesman's flag went up with the ball in the Watford penalty area. It was apparently not seen by the referee, and Watford made the game safe at the other end. A final score, but with plenty of talking to do afterwards, I'm sure, of Arsenal 1, Watford 3.
Well, a bit of an unhappy finale there, as John said. Everybody will talk about Watford's 3rd goal. Well, let's try and make sure it's not careless talk, because it costs reputations. The first point to note, as Williams takes this free kick, is the position of referee Brian Stevens as he runs to the left. The second, that without any doubt whatsoever, Sims, that's number 5 in the yellow shirt, doesn't commit any offence. He jumps fairly against Quinn's challenge, eye on the ball only, and as clean a header as you'd ever see. As we look again from the normal angle and confirm that first impression, we can see how the confusion arose, because the linesman on the far side incorrectly thought Sims had committed an offence and flagged. The referee was much nearer, saw clearly what had happened, and quite rightly allowed play to proceed, overruling his linesman's raised flag.